and welcome back to another video. What better way to start the video talking about steps for fat loss? Being indoors. As you can see from the title of today's video, I'm going to teach you how you can use steps as a tool to lose body fat without feeling like you are doing so much work and putting in so much effort to lose body fat successfully. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. First and foremost, what you need to understand is that you will not lose body fat without a calorie deficit. So you need to be consuming less calories than what you need in order for you to lose body fat. If you don't know how many calories you need to eat, how many grams of protein, carbs, fats, you can use my TDEE calculator, and you can also watch my previous video because I have explained this in details. How many calories you need, how to eat, when to eat, every single thing that you need to know about nutrition is in my other video. When you're starting your fat loss phase, something that I would recommend you to do is to have a set goal of how long your fat loss is going to be and how many kilograms you want to lose. Now, you don't have to focus on losing exact number of kilograms, let's say 5 kilograms exactly to the gram. You can go by the way that you feel and by the way that you look, and you can track your calories and macros, and you can track your weight. You can weigh yourself every single day if you want to, but if you're noticing that this is becoming way too obsessive and that it is impacting your mental health in a negative way, you don't have to track every single thing that you consume, and you don't have to step on the scales every single day to see how much you weigh today, because your body weight is going to fluctuate so much. But if you want to use the scales as a way of measuring your progress, then weigh yourself around the same time every single day, and then look at your weekly average, and then compare your weekly average, even your monthly average, to see if you're losing weight or if your weight is staying the same. Now let's have an example, because I feel like this is going to help you understand what I'm talking about today the most. So let's say that we have someone who weighs 70 kilos and this person wants to lose 5 kilograms and this person wants to diet for 12 weeks. So they are currently maintaining their weight on 2,500 calories and they are currently doing 6,000 steps. We will start their deficit on 2,000 calories, so this will be a 500 calorie deficit, and we will increase their steps from 6,000 to 8,000 for the first few weeks. Now, when you start the dieting phase, don't try and fix what's not broken. Don't drop your calories if you don't see huge changes on the scales or in your body composition after 5 days or 1 week. Give it time. So I would stick to those macros and calories and those steps for the first 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. And then after that, you can reassess. As you progress with your dieting phase over time and as you hit a plateau, because it happens after you diet for a long time, there is one thing that is called metabolic adaptation. And what this means is that, let's say you have started your dieting phase on 70 kilos. You have lost 4 kilos, so there is less of you overall. You are moving less weight, so you are expending less energy. So let's say that what used to be your 500 calorie deficit is now 200 calorie deficit, because you are burning less energy because there is less of you overall. What can happen when you reach a plateau, and what can you do when you reach a plateau? You can take a diet break or a refeed day. This is where you increase your calories back to your maintenance. You increase your carbs and you eat your carbs around your training to help with your training performance, and you can have a diet break or a refeed day for 1 or 2 days or even 5 days, 7 days. Take a mental and physical break from dieting, go back to your maintenance, and then when you go back into a deficit, you can drop your calories lower than what you were dieting on. So let's say instead of going back to 2,000 calories, you would go down to 1,800 calories, and you can slowly increase your steps. So maybe instead of doing 8,000 steps per day, you would increase that to 10,000 steps per day. I get asked quite a lot of time, how can I increase my steps? Do I need to do cardio? What do I do? Do I need to get in exact amount of steps every single day? So what I always say to my clients is this. Depending on your lifestyle, depending on where you live, you can either go outside for walks, listen to podcasts, listen to some YouTube content that is going to teach you something and help you, and consume content that is going to be beneficial for you. This is what I always do. I love to listen to podcasts or an audiobook or something like that. Always learn something from other people who know more than I do. So you could get your steps in on the treadmill after your workout. You can get your steps in outdoors. I personally, j'adore spending more time in the nature and going for walks. I sit all day, work on my laptop. I don't move as much as I used to. When I used to work in hospitality, I was on my feet the whole day. So I was getting 20,000 steps every single day. very easily. I go out of my way to go for my walk in the morning, and then I go out of my way to go for my walk in the evening to get in my steps, to get in some daily movement, not for fat loss reasons personally, but just to not sit the whole day, because everything that I do is online and it's on my laptop. So you can walk outdoors, explore the nature, explore your city, explore your country. When you're traveling, getting in more steps is the best way to explore. Wherever I travel, I just walk around, explore the city, explore the nature, be one with the nature, spend more time outdoors. So either get your steps in on a treadmill, or you can get in your steps outdoors. Take the stairs instead of the elevator, make mindful step choices. Now, do you need to get the exact same number of steps every single day? If your daily goal is to get 10,000 steps, and if you only got 6,000 steps today, it is not the end of the world. What you can think of as your steps is like a weekly budget. So let's say that your goal is to get in 10,000 steps per day times 7 days. That is 70,000 steps in 1 week. So what you can do, you can have higher and lower step days. We all have different lives. We all live different lives. Some of us are busier on the weekends. Some of us are busier during the week. So if you are very busy during the week, you could do 8,000 steps during the week, and then you can, let's say, catch up on your steps on the weekend. So what matters the most is, let's say, your weekly average, your step average, and also your calorie and your macro average. You could have lower calorie days, higher calorie days, depending on how much you move, depending on if you train or not. I will make a separate video about this, should you eat less or more on your training and non-training days. So keep your eyes peeled for that video. But think of your steps and think of your calories and macros as a weekly budget, but just prioritize your protein and make sure that you get in enough protein every single day to help with preserving the muscle mass that you have when you are in a calorie deficit and eating less calories than what your body needs. What happens when we hit a fat loss plateau? You may wonder. Well, I will teach you what happens and what you can do. There are 2 things that you can do. So you could decrease your calorie intake, but if you're a woman and if you're dieting on 1700 calories, I personally wouldn't want to drop my calories any lower, and I wouldn't want to be dieting on very low calories. You're risking at losing your menstrual cycle, risking messing up your hormones, risking your training performance, your recovery, your sleep. A lot of things that can happen if you drop your calories way too low. But depending on how many calories you are dieting on, let's say that you are dieting on 2,000 calories and you're doing 8,000 steps, and now you hit a plateau, what you could do, you could drop your calories 100 calories per day, and you can increase your steps to maybe 10,000 steps per day. So you drop your calories and you increase your steps so that you create a larger deficit, which is going to ensure that you lose body fat and body fat only. When we are in dieting phase, when we are focusing on fat loss, we are focusing on fat loss, not weight loss. You don't want to lose muscle. You want to lose body fat. Those are 2 different things. Another thing that I wanted to mention is to don't overdo your steps. What people often tend to do is that they go from 10,000 steps per day to 20,000 steps per day to speed up the fat loss process. Yes, you could do that. Is that sustainable? Can you maintain that? How much of your time is that going to take you? Is that taking away time from your family? Is that taking away time from your work? Is that taking time from all the other things that are your priority at the moment? If you go from 10,000 steps per day, 10,000 steps per day, to 20,000 steps per day. Yes, you will burn more energy. Yes, you could technically lose body fat faster. But that could also negatively impact your recovery, which can also negatively impact your training. So when you are training in a dieting phase, you want to train the exact same way that you've trained to build muscle. What helped you to build muscle, which is resistance training and focusing on progressive overload and following a very smart program such as any of my programs, you want to focus on getting stronger every single week. So your training does not change when you are focusing on fat loss. It helps you to build muscle. It was going to help you to preserve muscle when you are in a calorie deficit. So don't overdo your steps. Don't go crazy on your steps. Don't do 3,000 steps per day to lose as much body fat as you possibly can. Slowly is the fastest way when it comes to fat loss. And every single thing that you need to know about fat loss and building muscle and your gut health and pre and postnatal training and nutrition and reverse dieting and yoga and every single other thing that you need to know is in my app. When you sign up for my app, you will get access to all of my educational guides, the best training programs in the world because they're written by me. No one else writes my program. If you haven't subscribed to my app already, I don't know what you're waiting for. I genuinely do not know what you're waiting for. Come and join me and thousands of other people. Sign up for my app. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Let me know if this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed it and learned something new. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I will see you in my next video and have a nice rest of your day.